Today we have the ladies' singles final and the ice dancing competition. Petra, at this level, in junior competition, what is your opinion of these ice dancers from these many nations?
Well, in watching the practices and seeing the two first portions of the competition, I feel that the level past about the top 4 is pretty low. But ice dancing does require a lot of maturity, and it takes many, many years of practice and experience, such as these Junior Worlds and other international competitions, to gain that maturity. It's not just the steps, it's how you perform the steps.
The Canadians are in medal position here.
Yes, that's wonderful. They're in second place. That's Pal and Godfrey. And there's a Russian couple ahead of them and behind them, virtually unknown. But I think they're in a very, very excellent chance of maintaining that position.
Now, Toller Cranston, the ladies. And there seems to be really tight competition. The Soviets have won it the last couple of years, but I think it's rather wide open.
It is wide open, and contrary to what Peter said about the ice dance, the top 4 female skaters in this competition are very good. In fact, world class, not junior world class. Cindy Bortz, the American girl, is quite astounding. She has nerves of steel. She won in Hungary just recently, and I would have to say that she has a very good chance. The West German girl, Becker, who has been second 2 times in the Junior Worlds in the last 2 years, has a chance as well, although I would say probably not better than the American girl. But the surprise and the delight for me, because I haven't seen her before, is Shannon Allison from BC. She's a Canadian. She's a wonderful talent, terrific body, great jumper, and I would say that she could be the hit of the afternoon, and I'm hoping for her.
So the ladies' competition, Glencoe Club. Greg Folk is her coach there. She was 6th in figures, but only 13th, as she had a tough time in her short program that left her 8th overall. Her intent to move up past that. Angie Folk of Canada. Have been our strongest in World Juniors, generally speaking. Linda Florkovich attained a bronze medal in the World Juniors last year for Canada.
That was a joy to see. It was a very good double axel, but a particularly high one, which for the females in the competition, you don't often see them jump that high. Something that should not have happened, and I could see it happen when she froze on the triple cow. And I think the problem that Angie has is a total lack of concentration. This is her biggest problem. It has nothing to do with her ability to skate, which she obviously can skate, but she loses concentration, and this should be the very thing that she should work on. Mistakes don't happen by accident. Again, very little concentration, and it would have appear that she has given up in the middle of her program, which is simply a no-no in any international competition. You have to fight to the bitter end, no matter what.
And she is skating at home in Canada, and this crowd, quite sparse as it may be in Kitchener, would love to cheer for the hometown girl. She's not given them too much opportunity.
One would have to really evaluate this skater on many different levels. The skating ability is certainly there, but I don't see a passion. I don't see a desire there. And I would sit her down and say, do you want to skate? If you do, let's start an entirely different kind of training program. I think she really lacked concentration, and it's too bad. She's a pretty girl, pretty skater. She can do better.
Angie Folk, a very disappointed young Canadian skater.
This is the opening of the program, which was very encouraging, a really excellent double axel. Certainly something can be said about the program that she had, which somebody spent a great deal of work making it artistic and interesting, which it was. Unfortunately, you didn't see it because there were too many mistakes.
Linda Reynolds in Calgary is her choreographer.
Well, she's to be congratulated.
For technical merit, 4.2. 4.2.
That look tells the story. Her technical marks are really very low. 4 2s. Well, there was 145. Came from judge number 3.
4.3. 4.4. And 4.3.
Like there was something else.
4.2.
First part was
4.1. 4.5. 4.4. 4.5. 4.1.
So she sits and stares at the second group of marks, so they're not much better. Not a happy time for the young lady, Angie Folk from Calgary. Ladies singles is one discipline in which the Soviets are not dominating here this year, but they have won this event in the last 2 occasions. Natalia Skrabnevskaya is a 16-year-old. She was 4th in the short program, but right at the present time is standing 5th. She was 6th last year. Her teammate Natalia Korbenko was the gold medalist.
That was a particularly difficult jump and a very well done jump. Triple loop. Always a risky one because it's an edge jump.
Waiting for some word on the bangles and beads, Solar.
Well, Ted, I'm trying to come up with something to say about the dress. I think the dress is one of the most unusual dresses I've seen in competition, and yet somehow because of her carriage, her elegance, her body line, I feel that it works very well for her, but certainly I would not advise any other skater in the world to try it. for her. There are too many mistakes. She has a lovely appearance on the ice. She's very poetic. Choreographically, there's something to be said about just too many mistakes, and this is not going to put her on the podium. Programs are like surfers riding a crest, riding a wave. If you fall off the wave, it's so difficult to get back on track. And with the difficulty of the programs these days and the concentration on the triple jump, particularly for the female skaters, it's very, very hard. If mistakes happen, falls happen, very difficult to get it back on the right track.
Natalia Skravnevskaya of the Soviet Union, but there'll be no medal for her once more this year.
I don't think so, and that was a very anticlimactic ending. I don't think it really advisable, unless you're of the Torvill and Dean level, to end on a very low, slow note. You should really end with a kind of a punch. Here was the opening triple loop, which was very encouraging, because I thought that if that was an indication of what she was going to do in the rest of the program, that she would be a difficult skater to beat. Unfortunately, she's a victim of what happens to so many of the female competitors. They feel they have to do many, many triple jumps. They sacrifice their femininity and grace for the jumps, and as a result, the marks cannot be on a first-class rating.
There's a very good look, though. It's a very, very attractive blonde from the Soviet Union. Tall and lithe.
I suffer for them because they always look as though they are about to be punished by the marks, when in fact there is something wonderful about skating. There's a joy to skating, and because of the difficulty that they feel they must perform in the programs, they cannot enjoy their art, which is really sad, and it's indicative of what's happening to all the female skaters in the world today.
Magnificent close-up. So from a 4.6 from the first judge, who's been marking low for the entire piece, so that doesn't really have much consequence. So only 5 ones for her first set of marks, and you can see the disappointment there, the little touch of sadness in those lovely eyes.
Well, I think the marks were rather optimistic. I think that she was given perhaps a little more than she deserved.
And a few more 5-1s for her second set of marks for artistic impression, but certainly not enough, as you indicated, Toller, to pull a podium.
Which is good for our Canadian girl.
Next competitor from the Federal Republic of Germany, Suzanne Becher.
Here is a 2-time silver medalist, Suzanne Becher of West Germany. She is first overall coming into this, having won the figures, but she was second in the short program. She is 16 years of age. Last year completed in both the Worlds, where she was 15th, and we saw her at the Europeans in Copenhagen. She skated to 10th there.
Very strong opening, particularly because she entered her triple toe loop, double toe loop with tremendous speed.
She's coached by a former competitor of Toller's and a great champion, Andrei Nepola.
Interestingly enough, with the choreography, unlike the Russian girl that we just saw, who opened with about 4 different triple jumps. There was only one triple jump right at the beginning, which I agree with. It has given her a chance to relax and regain composure, which was right because she just did an excellent triple Salchow. What they tend to forget, what all skaters tend to forget, it's not what you do, but rather how you do it.
We watched her in our coverage of World Juniors from Sarajevo last year, appeared to have it won, and then she finished second.
A particular quality that I have always found to be admirable in jumping is the flow in which one enters a jump and the flow that one has when you exit the jump. And this is a very good example of an excellent, smooth flowing edge that comes right out of the jumps. This is the sign of a superior skater. Definitely riding the crest of the wave. She really does not have to do any more because I think that the style has been stated and her technical ability has been declared. She just has to skate without a mistake to get fair marks. A remarkable combination at the end of the program, double axel, double loop, double toe loop.
Saw it slip away last year, obviously intent on not having that happen again.
Well, this is really the very best she can do. If she does not secure the gold medal here, it is certainly not because she hasn't skated her best. I think that she can be very pleased with her performance. There's very little that can be said. It was a flawless performance, the best she could do, very good jump. The flawless performances generally win. That'll be a hard one to beat.
Susanne Betcher of West Germany, 2 times the silver medalist in the World Juniors, this time coming into the free skating leading. The smile would indicate that she thinks this time she has been able to do it.
The opening triple toe loop, please, with the combination, double toe loop. Excellent flow out of the jumps. I really think that she can be very pleased with this. The ending combination, double axel, double loop, double toe loop, really very difficult to do at the end of a program, and a high risk as well. She's one of the few that can sit in that chair with a big smile on her face.
Well, her marks will be coming up now. First of all, of course, for technical merit. Great sound we have here. And there, those are the highest marks we have seen, and they are consistent across the board. It's going to make her very, very difficult to overtake.
There's Andre Neffel again. Well, I'm very happy for her, too. I find that I'm smiling as well because we hardly ever see smiles in that particular chair. We always see looks of doom and gloom. But she really did well.
And her second set of marks. And they're going 5.5, just a 5.6 from judge number 4. 5.4 down there from one of them, but good marks and a wonderful performance. Susan Betcher. And Allison Chavez in 4th place. 14-year-old Shannon Allison, Canadian junior silver medalist. She's from Coquitlam, British Columbia, though she was born in the little coastal town of Powell River. 3rd in the short program here. And she felt she had skated her best in that short program.
Right at the beginning, just a touch shaky. This is where concentration has got to come in. She has got to think about those jumps that will be coming up and make sure that she lands them. Triple Salchow.
Linda Florkovich had a bronze medal for Canada last year. Prior to that, Elizabeth Manley in '82 had a bronze. Kay Thompson a silver in 1980.
Could almost see coming because the jumps at the very beginning of the program were just a little bit shaky. But what one has to remember for this particular competition, it is Junior World Championships, not the World Championships. And these girls will learn from their mistakes. I thought that the jumps were well done. It was athletic. There were many positive things to say about Shannon. I think that now it's really a question of details, finesse, refinement, stretching her legs, pointing her toes. And I think that because her skating is so good, she could have a somewhat more glamorous dress. Her skating deserves it.
Shannon Allison of Canada.
Here's the triple Salchow, which was right at the beginning of the program. We saw the shaky landing, not quite up to the Becker girl, who landed so beautifully and had wonderful smooth edges coming out of the jumps. But I think the positive that can be said about Shannon is that she really is a bright light on the Canadian horizon in the skating world. She is going to, one hopes, have a brilliant career and go much further in the skating.
Green-eyed blonde from British Columbia.
Certainly the technical marks should be much higher than the artistic marks.
Shannon's coach, Cynthia Ullmark. Well, 5.3. 5.3 from number 5 as well, from number 7 and from number 8 for technical merit. 5.1. So certainly she should lose no ground at all.
Marks for artistic impression. 5.3, 5.1.
And again for artistic impression, very similar. There was 1.54 there from the Canadian judge, Jean Matthews.
It is interesting because I really felt that technically she was far stronger than she was artistically. She can be pleased with those marks.
The next competitor in the ladies' event from Japan, Imion Junko Yamanama.
One of the very youngest skaters here is 13-year-old Junko Yaganuma from Tokyo. The little Japanese star is in 6th place. She skates her long program. Diminutive, very splashy little costume. This little one is claimed to be 5 feet 1 inch in her biography and 88 pounds, but she is certainly no more than that. She's got a very interesting medley of music planned.
Difficult series of jumps, double axel, half loop, hop, double toe loop. The problem with so many of these young skaters is that they try to do such difficult programs that their youth and lack of strength prevent them from completing all elements in the program successfully. Better to play it safe and skate without a mistake. Again, much better to skate elegantly, flawlessly, and do everything that you can do as well as you can do it.
That's music from Ice Castles.
Approach to a double axel, out of a backward spiral, into a spread eagle, always encouraging to see jumps that are not telegraphed before they are actually performed. With few exceptions in this competition, there is very little originality. People are not inventing new and different things. They are simply trying to do what has already been done. That was quite amazing. Triple toe loop at the very end of the program. Difficult and certainly very taxing as far as energy goes. This was a difficult program. I would say the jumps were just a little bit weak. The edges were a little bit weak, but very encouraging. Certainly this girl has a future. The marks cannot hope to be as high as the Besher girl. Nevertheless, it was a well-done program, and I think she can be pleased with that. It was a very good showing here in Kitchener.
Junko, only 13 years of age, with the possibility of moving up from 6th into 5th place.
This was one of the combination spins. What many people forget is that spins take more energy than jumps, but are not given the credit that the difficult jumps are given. This was the unsuccessful attempt at a triple Salchow. Nevertheless, she did do a triple Salchow later on in the program.
Marie Asanuma of Japan was in 5th place last year, and this little one, by just moving up one step, can match that performance here in Kitchener. Judges taking a fair bit of time. So we're still waiting for it. Here they come now. The first set of marks, well, they're up and down. Actually, a 5-2 there, down to a couple of 4-6s, but there was a 5. It's going to be very close to see whether or not she can move past.
These marks were an indication, which was interesting, because it wasn't that she did not do difficult jumps and difficult elements, but rather they were weakly performed, and those marks would reflect the weakness as opposed to the difficulty.
And for artistic impression, she does have a pair of 5.2s and one 5.1, so certainly she'll be no worse than 6th.
Cindy Bortz.
In 2nd place, and she won the short program. This is Cindy Bortz of the United States, born in Los Angeles, July the 29th, 1971. She lives in Sherman Oaks, California at the present time. Cindy Bortz of the United States.
Cindy Bortz can only be described as a phenomenon. One could hardly imagine that the tiny form that she has to be as strong as it is, and yet she is, at least in practice anyway, has been skating programs that have been as difficult as practically any male skater.
Brown hair, brown eyes, and she's only 4'8".
Wonderful triple toe loop, double toe loop right at the beginning. The amazing thing about Cindy is that she appears not to have any nerves at all. Perhaps I should ask her what the secret is.
She won the Novara Trophy event this year, but watching her in practice, she was cool, calm, and collected, did everything.
That was quite amazing. In fact, you hardly would ever see anybody do triple flips like that. The remarkable thing as well in the jump, which I had mentioned earlier with the German girl, is that she is able to jump and exit on a wonderfully clean flowing edge. This is really the mark of an excellent skater.
Been a while since an American won this. Height. Look at that height. But two of their former world champions, Rosalind Sumner in 1980, Elaine Zayak in 1979, both won the World Juniors.
This is really blinding skating. I think that the technical ability of Cindy is staggering, and what one would tend to forget is that choreographically and artistic there isn't really a great deal to be said, but the jumps are so outstanding that one tends to forget everything else. My mouth is falling open because I haven't seen anything quite like this ever in my life. That was a triple that's effortlessly done near the end of the program. Simply amazing. Now that was an unfortunate thing, but really will not be taken seriously by judges because the other things have been so remarkable and outstanding.
You're way down the corner. Perhaps some of the judges didn't even see it.
wonderful triple jump right at the end of the program. This is the kind of skater that would make many a skater sitting watching in their own living rooms wonder why they are skating, because how could they possibly beat this? I haven't seen anything quite like it. This is not junior world skating. This is really first-class skating. This would do well in any world competition against any skater in the world.
And that's probably going to take Suzanne Becher's gold medal away from her once more. We'll just have to wait for the marks. Cindy Bortz of the United States. Canada's Shannon Allison sitting just behind Becher at the present time with the two Americans still to skate. And that looked just about unbeatable.
Well, Ted, one must also say that the actual skating in between the jumps was not mature, was not brilliant, but the jumps were so outstanding and the difficulty so remarkable that really one is going to have to give her marks up to 5.8, 5.9. She deserves it. Artistically, the marks should not reflect the same quality as the technical marks, but she is clearly the champion. And again, I am standing watching with my mouth open. I have not seen anything like this in many, many years.
I know, and I got a little carry.
It's cool and calm, and oh yes, look at those marks. 5.8 from judge number 1, number 3, down to the 5.5, but that's her technical marks. By far the highest set of marks that we have seen.
I think the Becher girl really cannot feel badly because she did the very best she could do, and this is, in this competition anyway, rather unbeatable.
Yeah, it was.
Now, let's see what they think of her artistically. Well, just about a little bit lower, but they know what they have done. Cindy Bortz of the United States.
The 5.3 is perhaps the closest mark to being accurate, but something that has to be said again is she is not breathing at the end of her program.
Representing the United States.
Also still in a medal position. She was third after the short program. This is Holly Cook of the United States, who's quite a story, because Holly was skating just a couple of weeks ago at the NHK meet in Tokyo, which was won by Katarina Witt. She finished fourth there, went home to Salt Lake City, didn't know she was going to skate here. Before she got her luggage from the airport, she had to go and get back on another airplane and fly up here to skate and represent her country because of an injury to another girl. Holly Cook of the United States.
Very good double axel right at the beginning, first class.
He's skating for a medal, silver or bronze, certainly no hope of a gold.
Triple toe loop, double toe loop. Sometimes skating right after a brilliant performance like Cindy Bortz is the very best thing that can happen to a skater because they really pull themselves together. They have to pull themselves together.
She wants to hold off Canada's Shannon Allison, who at the present time, with Holly's marks not up, of course, is sitting in third place. Another thing about Holly,
No, that will not help her, and that certainly will help our Canadian Shannon.
yes, that fall could make a difference here.
Well, what she is going to have to do now is really apply a great deal of concentration and come up with at least 2 triple jumps. No, we can kiss that medal goodbye.
Yes, it looks as though the door is now open for Canada's Shannon Allison to get a bronze medal. One thing I was going to say about Holly, apart from all that travel, she had just finished skating in a senior competition in Japan, which is 4 minutes, so she had to shorten her program here to 3.5.
For whatever reason, this was not one of her best performances. I think there was a wooden quality. It was marred with a number of mistakes. The quality of skating wasn't really there. I wanted to see more stretches, more interpretation. For whatever reason, this was not a particularly good day for her. I think that there were some very fine qualities, particularly the opening double axel.
One of her problems here
This was an interesting move, which one hardly ever sees. The last skater I saw do this was a very famous American champion, Gordy McKellen. I hope you're watching, remembering you.
I don't think I've ever seen a lady do it before. Holly Cook, probably dropping out of the medals.
Dropping out of the medals, I think that had I been Holly Cook, I would have run out into the parking lot screaming after the Bortz performance because it was so dazzling, and I think she probably sensed that.
Yes, Cindy Bortz has won the gold medal here for the United States. Boettcher appears to be, for the third consecutive World Juniors, a silver medalist for Canada. And it is very probable that those marks will mean not joy for Holly Cook, but a bronze medal for Canada's Shannon Allison.
Our artistic impression. 5.0, 4.7, 5.0.
And the artistic marks are not a great deal better for Holly Cook.
5.0.
But it's going to be very, very close.
5.3, 5.3.
The gold medal to Cindy Bortz of the United States. For a third straight year, Suzanne Boettcher of West Germany, the silver, and the bronze to Shannon Allison of Canada. And in 12th place, Angie Folk from Calgary, Alberta. She has skating at home, but I guess those were pretty anxious moments for you, waiting for the others to skate.
Well, yeah, I was pretty nervous back in the back, but once I got on the ice, everything, all the nervousness was gone, all the tension, and I just went and skated.
You said earlier that you thought you'd skated your very best in your short program. What did you yourself think of your long program here?
I was really pleased with it because since my last competition, I've gotten 2 new triples, and they were both in my program, and I did 2 of the 3, so I was pretty proud.
Cynthia Elmark, the coach, she wasn't able to get rid of that energy. She just has to stand and watch. Anxious moments, Cynthia.
Very anxious, but Shannon did her job.
And I think you're just about as happy with a bronze medal as anybody else is with any other medal.
It's a tremendous relief. We're thrilled.
So where do you go from here? You've got a long career in front of you.
Yeah, well, divisionals are in a month, so I'm going to try some more triples in that and see what happens.
Try some spins, too, though, will you?
Yeah.
Because they're nice to watch. Our congratulations on that bronze medal.
Thank you.
Cindy Bortz is our gold medalist. Toller Cranston said he was breathless with your performance. What did you think about it yourself?
I was very pleased with it. I had worked really hard before coming here, and I was really happy with how I skated.
Were you as confident as you looked to us?
Yeah, I was very confident. After skating a good short program, went into the long pretty confident.
Wendy Olson, the coach, I think is a little more excited than you are. Does this young lady need inspiration, or does she do it to herself, Wendy?
She has a lot of inspiration herself. I think she's dreamed of this. This has been her goal for, I'd say, the last 4 years. She's dreamed of this a long time.
Did all those jumps come naturally?
She worked very hard. She's very talented, but she worked very hard, and she's very smart, and always has, accomplished things from day to day.
Going into seniors now?
Yeah, I'll be competing in seniors this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Toller, it's always great to have a medal when the competition is in your own country.
It is. I think that Shannon Allison can be very pleased with it. The performance was a little bit weak, not quite up to the short program that she did yesterday. However, it is a very bright light on the Canadian horizon. I think that she has a brilliant future. I am still a little bit breathless from the American skater, Cindy Bortz. I have not seen anything like that. The physical composition of her body would not indicate that she would jump quite the way that she did and be the athlete that she was. Nevertheless, I think that America has once again produced a phenomena, and I'm sure they can't wait to put her on a real international stage, Worlds and Olympic champions.
You'd have to wonder at times where they come from. So many of them look so similar, the American female skaters nowadays.
Well, I don't think too many of them look quite like this girl, and I don't think too many people in the world can jump the way that she did. But it's true, Americans always seem to produce phenomena. The Galindo boy, another example, a phenomena, unique, rather unusual in that he's not like anybody else in the world, nevertheless totally incredible, and it's a thrill to see it. Glad I'm not competing against either of them.
Well, we're not going to have you compete against her, that is for sure, at least not in this life. We'll be back next